Hello friends, welcome to my channel Rftechpoint. Today we will continue with 5G use case. In my previous session I have covered enhanced mobile broadband, and today I will be going ahead with massive machine type communication and ultra reliable low latency communication. So let's begin with the second one. So as the name suggests, the massive machine type communication, it involves a large number of connected devices. Here we are talking about communications between the devices on a larger scale. Like for example, it is expected to have a 1 million devices per square kilometer area, and it's a kind of we can also say a massive internet of thing or sensor network. Like for example, you can see a home appliances like your microwave, your TV, your AC meters. So the communications happening with these in-house appliances. There are several examples of the outside appliances, like when traffic signals or communications between the water meter which are placed at locally at the farther distance. So the communication is happening between those devices through the wireless medium. So for that 5G will play an important role. Here when the communication is happening between the number of the devices, the total amount of actual data that is transmitted between them is small, but but there is a high chance of increase in the signaling load. So that also need to be taken into the consideration. Also, since the total amount of data that is transmitted is small, so the expected data rate will be also low. And as I already mentioned, a lot of devices will be placed locally at the remote locations. So we need to see that those device energy consumption should be low. It should have a very long battery life, and obviously the device cost should be low. So as under the key requirement, you can see like these are the important requirement for this particular use case. And when we are going to get this, most of this particular feature we are going to see in the 5G phase 2, that is release 16, when we will be having the 5G core network along with the 5G new radio. In NSA we are already having the 5G new radio, but when the 5G core network will be coming up, then we will be getting the full-fledged uses of this particular service. So then also the concept of the network slicing or the edge computing will come into the play. So we will be discussing about those as a separate case, as a separate definitions of the network slicing or the edge computing part. Now coming to the next point, that is the ultra reliable low latency communication. As the name suggests, here the two important thing is a service requires a high reliability and service requires low latency. So these are the prime factor and that need to be considered, because here the case that we are going to see is like having the human and the machine centric communication, and the cases where the remote surgery are required. So those services needs a lot of reliability. Now there are some examples that we can see is like the traffic safety, that examples of the tactile internet on large scale internet, or the augmented reality. Augmented reality, when you say, it's basically not the complete the real picture, but here along with the real picture we are adding some programmable things, and then it appears to be as the real picture, but it is not. So the those like augmented video games will be coming up. Then some examples of the drone control or the factory automations where the high reliability will be required. Now when we say like some examples of the high reliability case, we can say like the robotics or the surgery cases, and some examples of both low latency and the high reliability we can say of the industrial industrial part or the automation vehicles, and in the case of the tactile internet, expected latencies should be very stringent. Again, this will be implemented in the mainly in the 5G phase 2 release 16, when we will be having the 5G code plus 5G the new radio. So this is all about the different use cases of the 5G, but what we need to remember here is it's a basically three kind. In the first, we are talking about when we are talking about the enhanced mobile broadband, we are talking about the data rate, we are talking about the wide range coverage, and in the second case we are talking about a lot of devices with very high energy, very good energy efficient, and with the very high or long battery life. In the third case, we are talking about the low latency and high reliability case. In the case of reliability, the total blur should be along the expected line between 10 to the power minus 5 to 10 to the power minus 9. So this is something that we must remember. But apart from this, there will be cases when that use case will not fall directly under any of the three. Like for example, a case where good speed is required, and a case where low latency is required but doesn't need very high reliability. So those kind of examples or the use cases can come up. So here what we can see is like the examples that are the target points, you can say, where we are looking for the data rate, high data rate, and high spectral efficiency, high mobility, coverage, and the capacity. So this is being dealt in the use case enhanced mobile broadband. And the second one, the latency and the reliability, is considered under ultra reliable low latency communication use case family. And the third one, connection density and the network energy efficiency, is deal with when we are talking about the use case massive machine type communication. So this is all about the use case. Later on, I will do the enhanced session on the use cases, where I will be giving you some more specific data or the constraint or the requirement for the different use case family. If you have any concern on the topics or the point that that I have discussed, so please put it in under the comment box. I will go through that and I will try to prepare a good answer for you. So let's keep our discussion on to understand the 5G in a very sequential way, in a very easy way, because we all are at the same platform. I am trying to provide the information in the easiest way for the newcomers, for the mid-level engineers, and also it can be used for the higher level engineers right way. So this is all for today. Thank you, and please subscribe to my channel so that you can get the continuous update about this 5G series, and I will be adding some of the important aspects of the 4G and the 3G as well.